Latter-day Saint, do you want to talk? You have to unmute. LDS Christian, unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hi. So yeah,
I did watch a movie on the plane that you guys might find interesting. I mean, for what we have for movie choices now, I mean, slim pickings, especially if you're on a plane. But it's called Heretic. Hugh Grant. The premise is like two Mormon chicks go and they're doing their last route, trying to recruit, and they come upon this house, and Hugh Grant answers the door, brings them in, and it turns into this like insane like psychological thriller. But there's a lot of like imported memes, counter-religious memes, and counter-religion itself, like, an organized body that does a thing. But then there's also some defense. So at least they added in, you guys can watch yourself, but they added in some counter positions, which I was like, refreshing, at least.
yeah,
That was a cool movie, but it got weird fast. Yeah, got a little weird fast.
are debating Mormons tonight.
Sure.
So Chad Wilson, throw out a shout out to you for letting me know when Jay's on.
Okay.
So I'm LDS. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints because I find the early Christian church fathers teach LDS doctrine more than they teach Orthodox or Catholic doctrines, especially when we look at before Nicaea and
Before Nicaea? Wait, what? I mean, you could just go like even like basic Christology, or just like the Trinity itself, or the Father, like even just the Father. Now, I told Jay after I get back from vacation, we'll organize a time. We're gonna do a dual stream specifically on Mormonism. I'm excited about it because I'm gonna make it comical. He's gonna bring the educational, but I'm gonna get educated at the same time. I'm pretty excited to do that. So learning more, I'm having a very similar experience. Posh, if he's still listening, told me, if you think Islam is retarded now, go ahead and dive further into it because it gets worse. I'm having a very similar experience with Mormonism. Justin Henley, $5. Stop it, JB. I have a side hustle selling moon rocks. They are made of moon metals and moon soil. I put them in a moon radiation safe bag. $200. That's not bad, actually, Justin. $200.
the change
You like them saints, don't ya?
in infant baptism. I don't see infant baptism taught before.
Infant baptism? The opposition to infant baptism is so stupid that I have to play this.
What would you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
I would say if you countered infant baptism and the only defense you have is that they're children and they can't make up their mind, you have to do that about what they eat. You have to do that about bringing them to church. Look at Jay's face. This is really the face of someone just fed up. I mean, let's just bring this up quick. I can't miss out on this. Yeah, so if you say infant baptism and you say why not? Well, if they say it's not biblical, you can say doing trigonometry is not biblical. I'm so tired of this lazy ass approach to saying things like, well, if it's not in the Bible, don't do it. You know how many other things you have to include? It's just so stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb. All right, this is dumb. It is. It is dumb. But I just want to bring up this photo because this says it all right here. I mean, look at that. That says it all. He started with, I think, the church fathers taught what's closer to Mormonism. Must have been a long day for Jay because he should have actually giggled and cackled at that one. Mormonism is Islam with different colors. Yeah, it really is. It's like a different. It's like the same board game you buy from from the same company or something, and it just has different pieces or something.
Really about 200 AD, and of course the Trinity is definitely a part of the apostasy. So, yeah, that's
okay.
why.
Who do you think started teaching the Trinity?
Who do I think started teaching the Trinity? Constantine, the Gnostics. That's where homoousios comes from.
The Gnostics? What?
Wait, Constantine the Gnostics. Constantine is an emperor. He has nothing to do with Gnostics.
Right, but it came from Greek philosophy. When
so you said Constantine.
When you follow the history of homoousios, it comes through Gnosticism.
Right, that's a genetic fallacy.
Delano says, Jim, humans don't have to be treated equally, but all other things must be treated equally with your reasoning, Bob. I don't know what you mean by that. Sounds cryptic. Delano. You gotta say non-cryptic things.
It's a genetic.
I don't know if that's a critique of me. I don't know if you're doing satire or sarcasm and saying oppositional view and making fun. I don't even know.
Genetic fallacy. The fact that somebody uses a term does not equate to the meaning.
Constantine plus Gnostics equal Trinity, right?
Meaning of that system using that term.
Sure, but when you look at the idea within Christianity, homoousios was condemned and anathematized in the 260s to condemn Paul of Samosata.
Yeah, but the term is not the problem. It's the meaning of the term, so it really doesn't matter. But
well, it's the term.
Nah, I want you to see yourself. Delano, I don't know what you're saying. You gotta stop being cryptic. You speak like a grown man. Don't play a scavenger hunt game where we have to decode your shit in the chat, okay? Don't make us chase your meaning. Stop doing poetry. Just finish your haiku, make it straight to the point, and it's something that I could actually engage with, dude.
And the meaning of the term.
No, it's not. There's nothing wrong.
The meaning doesn't change.
Of course it does. This is the word concept fallacy. And by the way,
yeah, Trinity's in the Old Testament.
How could the Trinity come there when Tertullian has a gigantic book in about 180 on the Trinity?
Yeah, Tertullian did not teach the Trinity. I do a 10-hour, almost a...
That's what's funny is he says, like, it was anathematized by what authority, and what did the authority believe? So who is this church authority that's declaring anathema for certain views, and what did they believe? What is he saying? What are they? They're Unitarians?
Nearly a 20-hour series on my channel on YouTube.
There are people, and most of them who are anti-Trinitarian. They think the beginning of the Trinity is the Nicene Creed. They actually believe that. And so from their view, they're like, oh, it's this extra thing that you guys read. It's creepy, you know. Well, imagine taking that approach to all of the extra biblical prayers that become customary. Be like, the prayer's not in the Bible. No, you stupid custom prayer at dinner. I can't believe you just did that. Jason Cassell, $9.99. Thank you so much. I've always said Muhammad is the original Joseph Smith, the original con man. It's so similar. Their metaphysics are just as bad too. Like their approach to understanding each of their gods, wild. The endless regress father god is wild. They have a weird, perverse view of theosis where it's like I'm learning more about this, but they have a more, I believe, and I don't know if this is rampant across, like, I actually don't know at this point if Mormonism is sort of a monolith still, for the most part. Does anyone know in the chat? Are there like notable, let's say, heterodox Mormonism, if you know what I mean, like the Sunnis? Are there Sunni Mormons?
Debunking the idea
Jomo Smith
that Tertullian taught the Trinity. He taught.
Delano says equality of things, Jimbob. Okay, dude, full sentences. This is your last warning, Delano. As your last warning. Either use a full sentence, critique something I'm saying or a view I have, and make it intelligible, or you just get banned.
Thought that the sun was formed when God said, "Let there be light." He was given his own form, his own voice, his own.
Did he just equate the sun, the object, with the Son of God? What the?
What would you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
Garb, and he said that when God said, "Let there be light," he said that's the perfect nativity of the sun, nativity, the birth. When God said, "Let there be light," and Jesus is known as the light.
We've already done a response to all this. I'm not going to go through 10 hours of your citing of it. So, what are you laughing at?
What?
So what?
Are you laughing?
What? You just made the sun a personal being, and it's just a metaphor where God created the sun, the actual sun, and let there be light, actual light. But also, what he really meant was Christ, the Son. The whole nature thing is so important here, because you take a Mormon or a Muslim and you attack from the position of nature, they're pretty much done. So the Muslim is basically pushed into a nominalist view of all things. And in this case, the Mormon, or a Unitarian in general, would just, when they affirm Christ as the Son and the only begotten Son, there's something specific and peculiar about Christ as being the Son of God and us being sons of Abraham and so forth. We're all children of God, so to speak. Once you attack the Son and what we know about sons and fathers, it's impossible to deny the consequence of a son sharing the nature of the Father. And him being the only begotten Son sharing the nature of the Father, he's eternally begotten. There's no other way of saying it, or else everything else breaks down. You might as well just be an atheist at that point. That's why it doesn't make sense to be a non-Trinitarian Christian. You might as well just be an atheist or be a Muslim. It doesn't, because there is no Christianity without it. There is no Christianity. Whatever you think you're practicing in, it doesn't make sense. It's not coherent. You don't have a practice. You don't have redemption. You don't have healing. You don't have the trampling of death. All of these distinctions that are entangled, that you can't separate from Christianity, from a theological position, but also from a practical position, actually practicing it. You can't separate these things. You would be doing a meaningless sort of LARP Christianity where you're not actually participating in anything. And yet it's so, I don't know why it must be just general liberalism. I don't know why it's so rampant and appealing to people to practice and be a part of something that's incoherent, that doesn't even make sense. Insofar as like soteriology, it falls. If Christ isn't God, eschatology is broken as well. Sin, redemption, like all of these things are meaningless. What are they?
I didn't laugh.
They're just like chapters, arbitrary chapters in a book of humanity.
Okay, I thought you were laughing. So we've done a response to this that was about a 2-hour talk.
Daniel says they believe Jesus is the only begotten in a sense of a physical begottenness. Yeah, it still doesn't make sense though. Well, they also think they think the Father is a physical body too. And what we know of physical bodies is like, this is a material. That's a material thing. So Christ, being a creature, now is a creature that precedes his body. So the creation of a body, the creation of human beings, Christ still has this peculiar nature of being a being who preceded his own body. So they have that. But then, do they hold the position that we all share a similar, shelf status as Christ from their view? Like, I'm going to have to research it. Apparently, there's a lot to look into here. I'm going to have to prepare a lot of funny animations, honestly.
On Inspiring Philosophy's channel, which deals with this Muslim line of argumentation that these early church fathers. If
Thank you so much for reaching the goal. I'm going to have to make something for celebration. Maybe some really fun, dynamic animation when we reach goals, because, I don't think you guys are getting the payoff you deserve.
you're saying that the Trinity was from Constantine and the Gnostics, and
If Christ is a creature, there's no reason to worship him. Yeah. Well, what is this whole thing following Christ? I always say this to like people like Tatum, Officer Tatum, Bryce, these guys. They're like, oh, I follow Christ. What? So you follow a man? Oh, I pray to Christ. You pray to a man? You pray to a creature? Well, I mean, he's like a... Then they're forced into some weird Gnostic territory where they're like, Christ is like a kind of in-between, It's a spectrum. Like God's a spectrum, basically. That's what they have to say. Because there really is an either or. The distinction of creator-creation is the distinction of eternally uncreated and created. And so if you don't have that distinction and you're trying to place Christ as sort of God, but not really, and he's kind of a man, but he's a superman, but it's a spectrum.
I'm saying that, well, the doctrine of the Holy Trinity is the very first thing mentioned in against Praxeus. Even if you take issue with some of the formulations of the way that he talks about the Son, he does not say the Son is a creature. So he's still teaching, quote, the doctrine of the Trinity. That's the very beginning of the treatise. So it's not from Constantine. Right. So it's not from Constantine.
Daniel Lemon says Jacob Hansen, he's a famous Mormon, right? Did a call out to all Christians on Alex O'Connor's channel to debate the Trinity.
So actually,
their God is on a spectrum, yeah.
The Trinity, Tertullian actually teaches it very similar to the way we do.
No, it doesn't.
In the sense that Joseph Smith taught that intelligences are not created. We are uncreated. And Tertullian taught that...
well, hold on. We're uncreated? How many gods?
Okay. I was going to say, I thought this before. If they thought Christ was given a body, then what was his existence? What's his ontology? If he says he's uncreated, what is this creature? So they have God as Christ as a creature, but not a creature. And now Jay's going to go, wait, what? We're also uncreated, eternal?
Gods are there.
Intelligences are not gods.
If they're uncreated, they're gods.
No, matter is uncreated. It does not.
Matter's uncreated?
Mean that matter is a god.
So that's that right.
Wait, matter is uncreated? Whoa. Apparently, everything I thought was going to be wild about Mormonism just got way more out of control. I mean, I'm almost hearing the circus music in my own head. Nitty says, I mean, for soteriology, God makes the rules, so it doesn't matter what the sacrifice is. If God made a goat and lambs efficacious for Israel, then what's stopping the divine man from doing it? Well, Nitty, if I said some sort of revealed practice of sacrifice could exist, and God, that could be a part of God, some form of salvation or whatever, right? But I'm saying we're not arguing that before Christ manifest as God-man, that what you're saying didn't exist. So, like, logically, that could be possible. But I'm saying, Nitty, if you argue post-Christ and refer to Christ, I'm saying, Nitty. I'm saying people who refer to Christ but don't hold this position, they're not saying, well, Christ just doesn't matter. We're actually going to refer to the Old Testament early approached, which was, preceding the continuation into Christianity post-Christ, which, by the way, isn't Talmudism, Adam Green. Yeah, logically, you can go back in the storyline and say, yeah, well, that existed. But that's not the claim, Nitty. The claim is that they're still appealing to Christ. They're not just appealing to old pre-Christ view. I'm saying that Nitty, I'm actually saying they might as well just appeal back to the Old Testament. Judaizers, right? They might as well just be a Judaizer. Why not? They don't, there's no continuation necessary for redemption healing. There's no, for Nitty, because in Christianity, if you're calling yourself a Christian, you're appealing to a second alteration to reality, if you will. As the fall was one type of alteration to reality, Christ the life of, the death of, the resurrection of, would then basically something else would occur as well. You know what I mean? I'm playing devil's advocate. I understand. No, it's a good point. It's just that it's actually it's actually supports kind of what I'm saying, is that why even include Christ at all if you took this approach? Like, why don't you just go back to, like, slaughtering animals? What's the point? Why not? Why go back to cutting your dicks off, your dick tips off? You know what I mean?
Right, that's Aristotle's
Mormons should be cutting their dick tips off.
doctrine. If
Brad Harvey 499 T-Dump should be a Mormon, so he gets his own universe where he gets to shift the morality. If you know what's crazy about that, Brady Harvey, thank you for the super chat. What's crazy about that is that Tom Jump is pretty ideal for kind of starting a cult. Like, he does fit the criteria for starting a cult. He just has to be a little more rigorous and craft a religion, and he would get some followers, surprisingly. But I know you're saying that as a joke, but it's kind of Brady. It's actually way too true.
If matter is uncreated, how is it not divine?
Justin Martyr taught that the matter was not created.
No, he doesn't teach that. No, he does not.
I guess that could entail, Nitty says, God, quote, God makes the rules. He could just forgive. Yeah, but even forgiveness and like these elements of Christianity would need to be known through some sort of revelatory system. So even if, Nitty, you abandon Christ as eternally begotten, but that's it. It's still, you know what? It's still a problem, Nitty, though, because even theophanies and the Old Testament include pluralism. You can argue quite effectively the Trinity being in the Old Testament. So even that, I'm trying to grant you your counter here and say, well, they can just go back, and if God can demand sacrifices and these kind of things, and just as well be called, in a sense, an earlier stage of what would be the continuation into Christianity. But no, even that doesn't work if you're going to appeal to the Old Testament. It's still there. It's still there. So I tried to run with you, but that would be the pushback. Even me being too charitable would be like, no, Old Testament would still, like, you couldn't have revelation and theophanies and these things without the plurality.
He teaches creation. No, he doesn't. He teaches creation ex nihilo.
He does not teach ex nihilo.
Yes, he does. And you're citing a section where he taught. Most of the time when people argue this, I don't know if you're arguing this, but most of the time they're citing a section where he's telling you what the Gnostic doctrines are. He does believe in creation.
No,
yes,
he does not teach Gnostic doctrines in First Apology.
No, did you hear what I said? When Mormons and other people try to prove from Irenaeus that he does not teach ex nihilo, they cite a section where he's describing Gnostic teachings, denying ex nihilo. You can't understand what I'm saying?
I did not say Irenaeus. I said Justin Martyr.
Okay, I'm talking about Irenaeus. So my mistake.
I'm talking about Justin Martyr. Justin Martyr taught ex materia.
Well, even if he did, it doesn't mean that it's true. But what?
It shows that the earlier we go, we see LDS doctrines.
No, we don't.
Orthodox.
No, we don't. Because he does not. He does not teach Mormon doctrine. You can watch the response that Sam Shamoon did after.
I don't understand this about Mormonism either. If Mormonism is about a restorative process to a flawed theology, why did the dude need to insert his own prophecy of existing into Genesis? Yeah, Vigo, good point. The faith doesn't ride or die on Justin Martyr anyway. Yeah, but it's like, why even appeal to things in the past? Because, like, if Mormonism required Joseph Smith to reclaim the helm of what was Christianity, of the broken, and he did restoration. It's like one of those shitty A&E shows. Mormonism is a shitty A&E show, like Restoration Hardware, all the shows that find old things and they're like, we're going to paint it. It's a original Coca-Cola machine from 1935. It's basically Joseph Smith. Mark Komoski, $5 says, coherent thought and communication are impossible without necessary universally applicable laws of logic. What do you think? I agree. Even mind. So laws of logic, Mark, is one thing we point to that even the atheist needs to appeal to and give some sort of ontology to, but they never can. You get them to admit it's conceptual, which means it's non-concrete, and then the next statement they say it's material. But even that, mind is crucial. Even the term mind, they need to tell you what that is. Bredimus, $5. Welcome back. Looking tan, JB. I'm jealous. It's been raining where I live for weeks. Thank you. Yeah, it was. It actually rained a little bit in Hawaii. Their W's are V's. I didn't know that.
We did our response to the Muslims raising the same question. They're not teaching your doctrine. And by the way, it wouldn't matter even if one church father made that mistake, because we don't follow one single church father. The New Testament doesn't teach that there's prima materia or that there's eternal matter. The book of Maccabees teaches that God created everything out of nothing.
Yeah, well, we don't follow the book of Maccabees.
Yeah, but see, well, how do you know what the canon is? How do you know what the scriptures are?
Ruh-roh. Here's the death blow.
Because we have
Joey. Well, because we got Joey to restore it for us. He wrote things back into it.
Living apostles who tell us what they are.
Oh, we have apostles now?
So how do you know they're living apostles?
Because they have the authority.
Okay.
What?
Where did they get that? What's the criteria?
Peter, James, and John.
Where did they get that authority? What's the criteria?
It gets worse. Oh man.
The criteria is to be given it to you from those who hold that authority.
So every cult claims that
Peter,
they have
James,
authority.
And John came to Joseph Smith and gave him. And
how do you know? Now hold on. How do you know
authority.
that Peter, James, and John came to Joseph Smith and he's not just a fraud?
Joey Smith. That'd be a funny altered character. He's like from New Jersey and he starts a cult and he's called Joey Smith.
Because we have witnesses and evidence that.
Hey, Joey Smith. Oh, hey, look at this plaque I found. I found a plaque. It's got my name on it.
Show that he was a prophet. The Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon proved.
The only value of the Book of Mormon is really the South Park. It's so funny. I highly recommend it. It's expensive, and this is like, I don't know how, this is like 12 years ago I saw it. Is it really that old already? I mean, these tickets were expensive, but boy, if you want nonstop laughing, that show, that live show is so insanely entertaining and funny.
True.
So the Book of Mormon.
Hey, a chimney sweep, Joey Schmidt. Knock, knock. Joey Schmidt's here.
Proves that his own claims to be a prophet.
Hey, Joey, I heard you was in the can.
Is what proves he's a prophet.
I'm sorry?
His own claims to be a prophet is what proves he's a prophet, according to you?
Not just his own claims, the claims of other witnesses that were there.
Okay, so any cult, if they have people claiming to be witnesses, that means that it's true? How do you know that they're not lying?
Because the consistency within history.
He starts every sentence with "not for nothing." Not for nothing, Bob. I'm pretty legitimate.
I don't even know what that means. I mean, what do you say to a Muslim who says that the early followers of Muhammad are consistent with the Quran, therefore Islam is true?
Well, I'm talking about the early Christian history after the Apostles' day.
It's the same thing.
The argument is a fallacious argument, is what I'm trying to explain.
So what I'm saying is that everything is evidence for the prophet.
Hey, I'm translating the golden tablets here. I melted my own chains for these extra tablets I wrote my Joey Schmidt right on the tablets. They're right there. How, do I look like I know how to smelting? Do I look like I know how to smelt the gold? Oh, I found the tablet. It says Joey Smith right there. Joey Smith right there.
No, he does not teach Mormon doctrine. You can watch the response.
To be given it to you from those who hold that authority.
So every cult claims that they have
James
authority.
And John came to witnesses and
proves that
builds on itself.
So his own claims to be a prophet is what proves he's a prophet.
Not for
I'm sorry?
nothing.
His own claims to be a prophet is what proves he's a prophet, according to.
You know what's funny is not for nothing is going to get me trained to not say again. For every one of you suffering, are you suffering from again? Where you can't help but say again? I'm going to say not for nothing now.
To you?
Not
Not
just his
for
own
nothing.
claims, the claims of other witnesses that were there.
Okay, so any cult, if they have people claiming to be witnesses, that means that it's
Mormon is, it really is. Joey Schmidt. Muhammad Schmidt.
true. How do you know that they're not lying?
Because the consistency within history.
I don't even know what that means. I mean, what do you say to a Muslim who says that the early followers of Muhammad are consistent with the Quran, therefore Islam is true?
Well, I'm talking about the early Christian history after the Apostles' time.
No, it's the argument is a fallacious argument, is what I'm trying to explain.
What I'm saying is that everything is evidence for the prophet, because we have consistent evidence through
That's
history,
a circle.
through the Bible.
That's a circle.
No, it's not.
No, the Bible doesn't teach
No, it's not. The evidence we have that it's evidence is the
your view.
evidence.
In fact, in the Joseph Smith translation, he added himself to the last chapter of Genesis, correct?
When you look
You kidding me? You cut me off. I'm trying to build a religion here.
at the Jews actually
Again.
believed in a Messiah ben Joseph that was supposed to descend
No,
from.
no. That's not what I said.
yeah.
No, that's a rabbinic Talmudic tradition that has nothing to do with the
Yes,
Bible. That's nowhere in the
and
Bible.
Joseph Smith,
You should bring this up in a debate, Jimbob. What bloodline did Joey Schmidt descend from?
No.
Joseph Smith added that rabbinic
so
tradition back into the Bible.
Exactly. So he's a fraud. So
He just admitted that he added it back in.
he retroactively added himself to the Bible.
He
Exactly.
Actively.
Yeah, so he's a
himself
fraud.
as
Exactly.
the Messiah ben Joseph.
So he adds himself to the
God in
text.
Bible.
So your argument was that he's a true prophet because he's predicted, and you're admitting that he added himself to the text. That's a fraud.
He was predicted by the rabbinic text.
Wow. It's Mormonism.
But in anybody's mind,
This is crazy. I mean, it's Islam. It's Islam without the accents. It's wild.
would you think that Messiah ben Joseph from the Talmud has anything to do with Joseph Smith? Is Joseph
Joey
Smith Jewish?
Schmidt.
No, in fact, it says that he's not supposed to be Jewish. It says that he comes from the tribe
How
of
would the
Ephraim.
Jews accept Messiah ben Joseph if he's a Gentile?
Because the Ephraimites became, they were
So
taken
you
away.
think that was in the minds of the Talmudic writers, that they were talking about the shit that is in the Book of Mormon? This made-up nonsense about Ephraimites?
Joseph is supposed to precede the Messiah ben David's second
Rocky Mountain Muslim. That's really funny.
coming. He's supposed to be a restorer. He's supposed to restore the temple.
I'm restoring the temple here, guys. Guys, I'm trying to restore this shit. You guys broke it. It's all rusty. I feel like it'd be like Bill Burr. Bill Burr would play a perfect Joey Schmitty, wouldn't he? If there was a show that was kind of like, it was kind of like metaphorically, it wasn't so on the nose, but it was like a cult, and it's Joey Schmitty, and he's in the East Coast. It's Bill Burr. Starts a cult.
He's supposed to.
And you think that the rabbinic Jews in the Talmud who don't believe in anything to do with Christianity or the Bible or Jesus were predicting Joseph Smith a Gentile?
Yes, because when you go, you can actually go look. You can go look at
Ben Joseph Restoration Services.
the Jewish Encyclopedia under the Messiah. Everybody look this up.
Brutal. Put the rust on this. It's fucking brutal.
The Messiah.
Who else is going to clean up this shit?
Jewish Encyclopedia entry and scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you will read about Messiah ben Joseph. And Joseph Smith filled those prophecies about Messiah ben Joseph.
Why would he fulfill those prophecies as a Gentile and then add himself to the book of Genesis? This is so stupid.
Because he was it already talked about that in the book of Genesis, and it was removed.
How do you know it was removed? How do you know it was removed?
Ooh, this is talk about. This is fucking brutal. It was removed because he told you it was? Whoa. This might be worse than Islam. I can't wait to hear the answer to this. It was removed.
because it doesn't exist anymore.
What? Oh, man. How do you know it was there? Because it doesn't exist. I gotta play it again.
What would you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
So
They still have the
you don't.
prophecies.
This is
They
a.
still have-
You don't see this how dumb the circle is.
This is so crazy. I mean, the kind of broken brain you have to say, my Joseph Smitty daddy told me, Joseph Smith told me, it's it's missing. The section that included me is missing. Fucking believe it? Oh, Joey Smitty. How do you know it's missing, Daddy Joseph Smitty? Joey Smitty? Because it's removed. Gotta add it in. Fucking brutal having to add in all my prophecy. I gotta fulfill this.
So we only know that it's removed because he says it's removed. So he adds it, and that's
Well, no, how do you know it was removed? Because it's fucking missing.
the proof that he's the prophet. That's a circle.
Because we have the evidence in the Jewish Encyclopedia.
What does that have to do with?
I know it's there because it's not there. I know it was there because it's not there. It was there. How do you know it was there? Because it's not there. Fucking simple.
Joseph Smith?
There's
no
prophecy
Jew,
in the-
there's no Talmudic Jew that would accept a Gentile Messiah ben Joseph. That's crazy.
because we are not just Gentiles. We
Osama bin Joseph.
are of the tribes of Israel.
No, you're not. That's
We are
all
the
made
lost
up.
tribes of Israel.
Whether there's no evidence
We
that
are
you are
the
not the
lost
tribe.
tribes
No,
of
you're not. How are you that?
A Mashiach ben Yosef.
Are you? What's your lineage? You're Jewish now?
Dangerous circle of bread.
I am of the tribe of Ephraim.
No.
probably are the
Mormons
tribe of
think
Ephraim.
that you're of these tribes, but you're like the Black Hebrew Israelites who claim that you're that when you're nothing to do with that.
So we have
It seems like a very similar argument to the evolution fossil evidence. It is.
the evidence that
You have no evidence. What's your evidence?
we have the evidence that confirms itself.
What? You have the evidence that confirms itself. So that's a circle.
Okay, this is wow. I knew it was similar to Islam, but the more you hear it, it's like woo, woo,
The evidence.
oh, oh. That giggle was perfect. Listen, I gotta hear that again. When you can get that awkward giggle, nicely done, Jay. That giggle. That's basically when like the interrogative officer is like, well, why did you send this one text then?
That's a circle.
The evidence is consistent because when we have
In
just-
Jewish eschatology, Messiah ben Yosef or Mashiach ben Yosef is a Jewish Messiah.
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
That's the rabbinic tradition,
It's the rabbinic tradition, but it doesn't.
which
mean
has
that
nothing to do with you. You're not Jewish or rabbinic.
Wow.
You have nothing to do with that. You have no connection to
Doesn't mean
that.
that everything that they interpret has to be interpreted that way.
So again, this is
Okay, wait. So let me get this straight. Not for nothing. Let me get this straight. Did Joseph Smith being named Joseph Smith, having nothing to do with this, did he attach himself to this because it's a connection? Like this is like a Zach Hubbard shit? Is that what's going on here? Can you tell me? Is that what he did? Is he was like desperately trying to find some name connection to make it all work? Is that what happened? And he was like, oh, there's a Ben Yosef here. Oi, I'm gonna use that.
why the religion is fraudulent, because
They did not.
you remove the
They did not.
context.
Yes, David James Flood. Wow. Jeez, that's so lazy.
You remove the context and make it about something that is
That's what happened. Oh my gosh, it's like my kid. It's like if I was like force them to make a story, like they grab for a bunch of things. They're like, well, where'd you get that idea? Yeah. It's from Jewish eschatology, which our theology has nothing to do, but we borrowed.
nowhere in their.
We just bootstrapped. Found the name Joseph, everyone. Joseph Smitty was all, hey, you find me a fucking Joseph name? Joey, any name? Any Joseph name in the Bible anywhere? Yeah, just fucking find it. You gotta try. It's fucking brutal. It's fucking brutal. Brutal trying to start a religion from scratch. You know? Stuff like, try to do it yourself. Just find me any Joseph.
Mind. That's why it's fraudulent. It's also fraudulent
They did not interpret the Messiah ben David properly.
I don't know how we got to Bill Burr is Joseph Smith, the Mormon creator. I don't know how we got here.
Beginning anyway.
But we're here. This is where we are.
That's why they missed their Messiah.
Oh, so now so that would discount your usage of their prophecy to begin with. So if Messiah ben David is a false usage, you can't use Messiah ben Joseph to prove you, dummy. You just
Why not? Sounds the same. Same name. What's the problem?
undercut yourself.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
That's a double standard.
Yes,
you just refuted yourself.
That's hilarious. Yes, I
Hey,
can.
we know better.
We know better. You literally just said that because you said that the Jews were wrong about Messiah ben David,
so
and they
let's get
misinterpreted.
back
Shut
to the
up!
historical
Shut up! You just.
writings.
All right, this is too stupid.
This is dumb. I need to get we need to make a whole montage of Jay when he finally hits his moment. All right, this is just too stupid. This is dumb. Bill Burr. Oh yeah, Bill Burr failed when he said he went on like one of the main TV shows during the whole first, what was it, 2016? I think it may have been 2016. No. Well, maybe. I don't even remember anymore. But he basically went pro Hillary because it's a, try for a fucking woman to do it. Like, no, dude, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to make fun of the women. That's why you're famous. That's why everyone loved you. You made fun of the female nature. You just go against it? Yeah, unbelievable. Go start a religion, Bill Burr. Already did. I've been Joseph my whole life. Nicely done. Watching this live was hilarious. Yeah, I bet. Jay thought he was a random Mormon. It turns out he was considered one of their top scholars. Is it? Well, that's good news. As we say, thank you, God, for making our enemies so dumb.
Oh, fucking idiot.
Discord, are people in Discord? I don't know much longer I have this stream right now, buddy. Well, that was fun. Well, I'll reach out to Jay today. We'll make a date for the Mormon. Maybe a week from now. I have a debate on Thursday. I'll be streaming that here. Me and Jake Rattlesnake against two feminists. One of them being a woman. So, that should be fun. I'll make a point to make that very lively and entertaining for you all. Fucking brutal.
Crystal river flowing from the throne, tree of life with healing in its leaves, 12 kinds of fruit for 12 months grown. No more curse upon this sacred scene. No more night nor night. And we shall see his face, his name upon our brow. The Lamb will be our light, forever starting now. The river calls us home. His glory is our own. The Spirit and the bride and light. His servants reign for ages long. Morning star burns ever bright. And we shall see his face, his name upon our brow. The Lamb will be our light, forever starting now. I am coming soon. Hold fast what you have, the words are faithful and true. Blessed are those who wash their robes, who enter through the gates, who have right to the tree of life. The river calls us home. Come and drink, come and drink. His glory is our own. The Spirit and the bride say, come. Let all who hear say, come. Whoa, the water's flowing free. Take it freely. The grace of